Energized show, up the Irish.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Okay, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of Energized, brought to you by Forged Irish Stout. Ross,
Are you intoxicated or something?
introduce the guest, man.
Today we have everyone's favourite Shelly brother. He's fighting out of Team KF. It's the one and only Tornado Adam Shelly. Adam, how you doing, bud?
Good, lads. What's happening? How's things? Good to be on.
Oh,
Great to see
have
you
you
again.
on.
It's great to have
Great.
our number one Shelly on the show, Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope Ryan sees this. Adam's going to replay that to him over and over again.
You
But
can see it on Christmas Day, Ross.
yeah, absolutely. Adam, you're coming fresh off probably the biggest win in your career, and also probably the most spectacular win in your career. What was that like?
It was deadly. From start to finish, I really enjoyed everything around that fight, from fight week to the fight itself. Being at home was great. I had a catch weight. It was great. And then obviously the performance itself. I knew there was obviously going to be a big crowd there. But even I remember when I walked out, I was the first of the KF lads to fight. So I remember when I walked out, I was quite actually taken back by the pop that we got. I even said it to Chris when we got to the cage. I said, Jesus, that was some pop, like, you know. And Chris was like, yeah, look, forget about all that now. Focus on the performance.
Why were you surprised by the pop, Adam, by the way?
I don't know, like, I suppose...
Well, you didn't think they all thought it was Ryan, did you?
Knew something like that was coming. I suppose I've never fought MMA in Dublin. So, like, I fought K1 here about 5 years ago, like in the right venue. And, like, had a good few people at that. But I don't know, it was just like I said, I knew there was going to be a good reception and better than what I've had in my fights in the UK, obviously. But it was class. Like the crowd really got behind. And then each Irish fighter that I saw after me, like, you know, it seemed that the whole crowd got behind everybody. I thought it was a great night in terms of atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. I felt that as well amongst the crowd. I felt like obviously there was, you know, your friends, family, and Team KF training partners there, and obviously there was quite a good few of them there, and you would have heard all of them as well. But I felt like the crowd backed the Irish fighters nearly all the time. Like, you know, you probably had the Team Rhino fans who were there, the FAI guys who were there, you know, the CMAC guys who were there, etc., and then just the general fight fans who bought tickets. Like, they were probably all just hoping that the Irish guys would keep on winning, and you did on that occasion. It was a great night of MMA altogether. But I think you were one of the people who stole the show, Adam, with that spinning kick. Like, obviously you have them in your arsenal, but how nice was it to get it in there and land that in front of your home crowd?
It was brilliant. And, like, you know, it's something I've been working with Chris and speaking with Chris about for the last while now, is getting into that sort of getting into that flow state in the cage and performing the way I do in the gym and letting it come out on fight night. And I feel like that was the first time I showed a glimpse of what I'm capable of and what I can do. And I feel mentally and physically I've cracked it now, and I'm hoping to show it now in every fight, and I'll definitely be looking to show it next week.
And Adam, what did you have to overcome? Because obviously myself and Ross were there when it didn't go your way in Belfast. Now you're on a 2-fight win streak, and you're going to be the only Irish person fighting on Cage Warriors Manchester on the 29th of September. What's the biggest difference now in the life of Adam Shelly?
I think it's more like I've sort of achieved goals and stuff outside the cage, which then allows me to go to training and perform in the cage and in training without the stress and worry of sort of everything else going on. Like, I like to have, like most people I'd imagine, I like to have all boxes ticked. I need everything sort of right. It's like, if everything's going right, everything's like, you know, I can check off all the boxes. And I just feel like that's something I've achieved over the last couple of months. And now I'm training and I'm fighting and stuff because I want to and because I enjoy it. And like I have a full-time job now and stuff like that. So although I still have goals to achieve in the sport, it's not make or break for me, like from a financial point of view. But and then for me, like when I was competing in, let's say, taekwondo and kickboxing, out like when I was younger and stuff, like I was paying my way in them sports. You're non-funded, like, so you're paying up to $1,000, like 1,200 quid out of your own pocket for them trips. You're still doing the early mornings, the late nights, the twice a days while being in college or whatever it may be, and it's all for the love of the sport. And so like then when I got into MMA, it was nearly like, right, well, I need to make this my career, and like this what I'm going to feed my family off in the future and stuff. But then I sort of reversed that, sort of said, no, I'm going to get myself set up outside, got a job I'm with the airport fire service. And now I'm back to training and stuff because it's what I love. And I just find that just works best for me.
So Ross, Adam is putting out fires in the public and in the cage now.
Yeah, absolutely. Great that you represent the fire brigade as well. It's class at the airport, so we love to see it. Do you actually do that training down at the Keys? Do you? Sometimes,
down at the Keys?
Yeah, no.
No, we've the facilities up there is class. Actually, we do all our training like on site in the airport, and like a big simulated rig and stuff like that we can set on fire and have fun with that all day. Like, yeah.
And then obviously, like, putting out fires, you're sort of putting your life in danger as that happens or whatever. So obviously, that's something that's very risque, as is getting in the cage. But does that actually help with your composure come fight night when you're doing that sort of training?
Yeah, I think both complement each other. Like, even when I was doing my recruit training and stuff like that, I feel like my experience in it, like, competing in combat sports and stuff, sort of helped my composure in that end of things. And then likewise, now when I'm in work, obviously, like, whether it's training or real situations, like, you're putting yourself in the fire, pardon the pun, and like you're sort of doing that day to day, like, so it's somewhere where I like to be. Like, I don't like to just sort of sit around and just go day to day. Like, it's nice to be, out there, like, challenging yourself and putting yourself in these difficult situations.
Yeah, I suppose you have to be alert in the moment, and I suppose you have to be alert in the moment in the cage as well. So I suppose there is going to be some correlation there. Hopefully you remain safe in both aspects going forward as well.
Yeah. Just constantly in danger, Adam.
Constantly in danger. Thrill
That's
seeker.
What we like. Yeah, 100%.
Adam, tell us this. Obviously, you're fighting on Cage Warriors Manchester. It's going to be a great card. The Manchester cards are always stacked. There's plenty of talent out there for people to see. But was there any disappointment that you weren't on the Dublin card? And then also, do you feel like maybe there's a slight added bonus that you're the only Irish fighter on this card now, so there might be a bit more attention for your fight as opposed to just another fighter on the Dublin card?
Yeah, possibly. So I sort of I opted for this because I want to aim to get 2 more fights by the end of the year. And like, I sort of looked at the calendar when they initially released it, and especially when I saw that they moved the original scheduled Dublin show was for the 25th of November. So my aim would have been to fight September and November. But then when they moved the Dublin show to the 14th of October, I was sort of putting 2 and 2 together and looking at it and thinking, like, now, look, this might be different for some of the other lads, but I was thinking for myself, if I fight on that Dublin show on the 14th of October, then that might be the only fight then I get for the rest of the year. And that'd only leave me with 2 this year, where in an ideal world, I'd like most lads, I'd say I would like them 4. I'll take 3 if I can get it. So now my goal would be hopefully put in a good performance and get the result I want over here in Manchester next week, and then get on that Newcastle card in November.
Ross, pack the bags, man. Geordie Shore, why?
Yeah, exactly. And obviously this fight here against Matthew, obviously he was the FCC featherweight champion. He's coming into Cage Warriors now. And obviously this division is getting stacked up at the lightweight division. Obviously George Hardwick, I think, will remain with the promotion. Unfortunately, he was unsuccessful in Dana White's Contender Series. There's people like your own teammate Leon Hill, he's going for that belt, I think, sometime soon. Paul Hughes also thrown his name in the hat for the lightweight belt.
Yeah.
What way do you see the lay of the land at lightweight?
Stacked, as you said. And you know what's funny with Cage Warriors? I don't know if you lads have noticed this, and we're always saying this in the gym. It's like it comes in waves. Like sometimes you can look at a division and you're looking and going, "Jeez, there's nobody really there at the top of a particular division." And then you look at it sometimes and you could list out a top 10 of killers. And I think lightweight is. There was a time there, go back about a year or two ago, maybe, you had Mike Figlak, Chris Duncan was signed. Do you remember? Now, we never actually fought, but Chris Duncan was there, George Hardwick was there. There's a few other lads, and you're going, this is a killer's row. But then Mike Figlak got signed, Chris Duncan got signed, George Hardwick, Contender Series. And for a while, I was looking at the top of it going, there's nobody jumping out. But now, like, you've Nathan Jones back. You know, so not like to add to that other list of names. So I suppose George is still the champion. Am I right in saying that? He never actually vacated.
No, he didn't.
So
Didn't vacate.
He is the champion, yeah.
So I'd imagine maybe if Mason Jones gets a win in Dublin card, he'll probably be fighting George, will he?
That makes the most sense.
Potentially so. I think it sort of depends on when George wants next out, because like who knows, like if he wants next out in the November card in Newcastle, well then like he might end up fighting someone else. But it's definitely very, very interesting. And it's the same with welterweight now with Reese gone to the UFC. I think it's Emil Brown's fighting for the welterweight title. There's like 6 or 7 guys who are like, especially with Oban gone as well, who are like one dominant win away, including the likes of Omran and James Sheehan for the Irish interest, who like are on the cusp of getting back in there for a title shot. So like I'd love to see it. I suppose it's a bit like when someone really dominant retires or whatever, and then like you question that next wave, and then all of a sudden there's a bit of injection back into the division. Even look at something like the UFC. Sean Strickland wins the belt, and like the matches you can make become a bit more sexy than Israel, who's already beaten half the division.
Yeah, that's spot on. Yeah, it's like I said, comes in waves, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what's next for the guys. But how's the training camp been? Obviously, a lot of the team are preparing for Dublin. You're that bit earlier. So did you have to tell the guys, get your ass in here because I need those hard rounds first?
No, everyone's been on the ball, to be fair. And like, you know what? Even after the Dublin show in April, like I went back training on the Wednesday, and obviously not to the same intensity or volume, but like sort of been training all year. Like, and I was hoping to fight in July. I would have liked it on one of the London card or the Rome card. Didn't manage to get on it. So I've sort of been in camp. I use that expression loosely, like don't really do camps. But since June, like it's been fairly full on. So body's in a good spot. Everything's gone well. I've made a lot of improvements even since the April show. So hopefully now I'll show them next week.
Yeah, but what's training been like in Team KF at the moment? Because like from following the lads that are fighting on the Dublin card, it seems like the lads are living in there, and like I even heard Dustin Poirier came down for a knock as well, just to see how hard Team KF are training these days. Yeah, no, like, and we're having a bit, like, we haven't got a massive team, but we have a very active team. So like even there, Dom was 2 or 3 weeks ago for his pro debut. So like everybody was down giving rounds to Dom. And then there was supposed to be me and Omran for Manchester. Then there's the Dublin lads. So like there's always somebody with a fight coming up, and you might be a particular body type, a similar body type to that person's opponent. So Chris is saying, like, will you get down to give them rounds or whatever? And everyone's just always in the gym, like, and like I said, the intensity will, you might not be doing your 3-5s all the time if you've no fight in sight, but you're doing some type of rounds, some types of competitive rounds. So it keeps everybody sharp and on their toes. And it just leads to a great atmosphere in the gym, I find them. Yeah, and Dustin Poirier enjoyed it, yeah? He did. He seemed to enjoy it, yeah. I actually wasn't down, but the lads were filling me in. He seemed like a cool dude. Had a chat with all the boys after, took pictures and stuff.
One thing from the pictures I was surprised at was the height of him. I thought he was taller. Leon and Amran, the lads were towering over him.
In fairness, though, Team KF are known for being probably the tallest team in the country. Like.
That's true. Yeah, there's a lot of 6'2", 6'3" lads floating around there. Yeah.
Yeah, like lightweight.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I keep on looking half the lads when I stand next to them and go, how are you making that weight? Unbelievable. Like, the length of you, but sure, look, it works. I suppose Chris Fields is a bit of a long fella himself, so
that's it. And you know what? It actually do. What's that?
How did that come about?
Just with all tall lads.
No,
there's a height restriction. There's a height restriction on the way in.
No, how did you get like Matt Brown and all down? Like that's it.
I think it was just the boys. Somebody seen on Poirier's Instagram that he was out running down by Grand Canal Dock, and I think a few of the lads messaged him anyway, and just were like, "Here, get down to the gym there, come down for a few rounds." And I'd imagine Chris has a few contacts somewhere. Actually, I couldn't tell you exactly how it played out, but him and the boys rocked up anyway, yeah. I think there was talk of him coming down for our positional session on Wednesday. It didn't end up happening, though. That would have been nice to feel that out in the wrestling and stuff, you know.
Must have heard you were coming down. Isn't that right, Ross?
Yeah, he bailed.
That's it. That's one bit of pressure the Diamond couldn't handle.
This is number one bullshit.
Adam, tell us a bit about Gabor. Gabor, your striking coach.
Gabor.
Yeah, Gabor. Excuse me.
Yeah, Gabor's great. Like, you know, nice to pick his brain about things. So most of the lads use him, like for pads and like just a bit of different striking work. He sort of has a different outlook, very like, you know, K1 and Thai style based, which for me is it's nice to get a bit of outlook into that. Because like I sort of more of a like, you know, that point sparring type background, taekwondo base. That's what I did for years. So it's lovely to blend it with sort of Gabor style, and then Chris then nearly just pulls it all together. So like in the lead up to this fight, like, you know, then I'll be talking with Chris and we're talking about how to be in the traditional taekwondo style and then mix it in with the K1 style and just having that blended approach to the striking. But it's great to have the two of them there, Gabor and Chris, to pick their brains about things and get different views.
Yeah, shout out Gabor. He's putting out some great content. As we were saying, you're fighting on the 29th, Adam. When are you going over to Manchester, and who's going with you?
Going over next Wednesday. So what? Today's Friday. Going over next Wednesday, early flight. Myself, Chris, and Cathal, and then I think Ryan is going to come over on the Friday.
Nice.
Ryan's not going to come over. Yeah, he's just going to come over for the night. Because look, he has his own fight as well to focus on. So he'll come over for the night, and that'll be the corner.
Yeah, and that will be live on UFC Fight Pass as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Adam, Team KF are doing awesome things at the moment. Obviously, you're doing awesome things at the moment. What way do you think this fight is going to play out come fight night? Obviously, I'm not going to ask you for a prediction because you're obviously going to say you're going to win, but how do you see the fight actually playing out, and where does Matt give you trouble?
Yeah, gives the truth, Adam, as well. By the way, we need to make some money.
Always. It's like a lot of my fights. I think it's striker versus grappler matchup. From what I gather, well, on his Tapology anyway, it says that Matt is 5'7". I don't know. I know they can be wrong sometimes, so I'm not sure if he is. But I'm nearly 6'3", so there's going to be a significant height difference there. And I'd imagine he'd be looking to come in and close the distance. So yeah, striker versus grappler. I'll be looking to enforce my game plan, which has a few little tricks in there, and I'm sure he'll be the same.
If one of us go to war, we all go to war.
Yeah, get Roy to show you that rear naked choke that he's fallen in love with, just in case he tries to grapple you.
I know, yeah. I know. Look, I have my own little tricks there in the grappling that might come out. We don't know.
Yeah, hopefully it's just one of those bleeding tornado kicks and like that. That's it. Bob's your uncle, Mary's your aunt.
It's out,
out the gap, done in one.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show us that at Cage Warriors Dublin, by the way. Can't wait for that as well.
Definitely, yeah. We'll run a little tutorial workshop on tornado kicks.
Yeah, we can stick a point of Forge Irish down Ross's head, and we can all have a go.
Brilliant, yeah.
I think Adam's the only person I trust to actually kick the can off the head. He's tall enough as well that I'm like, right, that's doable.
Winner
We'll
gets
have-
free drink for the night.
Yeah, we'll have a go and see. We'll try it out, Ross. We'll try it out.
Yeah, we'll
All
try
right,
it out,
shout
we'll
out
try it
also,
out.
by the way, shout out to Ross. It was Ross's birthday this week. Round of applause.
No way. Happy birthday, Ross.
Thanks a million. Baz has been trying to
You're
work me
aging
all
like
week.
a fine wine.
Ross, you're
That's
40
it.
now. What's it like, man? Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, no, 42. Loving it. Yeah, like I said, like Adam said, aging like a fine wine.
That's it.
Wine.
That's
And
it.
one more for the bad guy.
Adam, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Anyone you need to shout out before we go?
Just all the boys in KF. Cheers for the rounds. Cheers for pushing me on. Obviously, all the coaches down there: Chris, Tom, Gabor. All the boys in the fire station, and they help me out big time when I'm in work with different things. So shout out to all them. And yeah, Top 10 as well. They're always good for a bit of gear. Top 10 me sponsor, yeah.
You up top 10 martial arts.
Yeah.
No, thanks a million, Adam, for joining us. We really appreciate the time. Can't wait to see you go do that work come fight night. For those of you watching at home, make sure to like, share, subscribe. And as always, stay energized.
Lovely.
Energized show, up the Irish. Been sussing you guys a couple of times. I've seen a couple of clips. I think you done some interviews with Dylan Moran and that I saw. So keep going, keep up the good work, guys.